Hi, my name is Steve Howes from Siemens Process Instrumentation. I'm a product manager who looks after integration, and in today's blog I'm going to be showing you how to build a Profinet project on a PDM standalone license. So the first thing we have to do, we don't have the project on this PC, so we're going to use a tool called Primary Setup Tool to detect the network IP addresses. So once we have Primary Setup Tool open, we don't have to worry about our current IP settings on our PC, such as the domain, as this will just scan the network and find the Siemens devices and give us an indication of what we need to set our PC IP address to. So once we've got it open, we click on that network, browse, and this will now detect all of the devices connected to this network, and the devices that we're interested in that have instrumentation connected is the compact field unit and the ET200SP. It doesn't find any modules underneath that, it's just finding the MAC address and the IP address of the instrument. So once I have scanned my network and I have my IP addresses, I open up PDM, and as you can see here, I've started a new project and labeled that up as Profinet demo. So the first thing we need to do is right click here and insert a new communication network. We have a few to choose from, but in this instance we're on a Profinet network. We've selected that. To connect to a Profinet network with PDM, no additional routing or license tags are required. So I can see here that I have my Profinet network. I can set my interface independently of the PC-PG interface, so it will work completely independent of any other software. So the next thing I need to do is to add a new device, and we will start with the compact field unit. So right click, insert new object, and we'll put in the IP address that we've already discovered by using Primary Setup Tool. So in this case 192.168.0 and 4. And if we click on Assign Device Type and then select Device Identification, PDM will tell us what the connected device is. So in this case, compact field unit, firmware revision 1.0. So we know we have a connection because PDM has already discovered the device, so it's actually started some communication. What we need to do now is see physically what is connected to that compact field unit. So over here on the right hand side, go to PDM and we can start life list. So on the compact field unit we can have up to 8 Profibus PA devices. The compact field unit automatically addresses them in this range 20 to 27, but we just need to see what they are. So if we click on the scan button, it's found address 20 and 21. Now the generic GSDs are being used because that's the way this device works, but what it's going to do is read the 6-digit or 8-digit code from the device, so I get an idea of what it actually is. So I can see here that I have a CLS 300 on address 21 and an LR 250 on the address 20. So I'll show you how to insert address 20. So insert new object, similar to how we inserted the Profinet device, but because we're a level down, PDM already knows that this is a Profibus PA device. So if we click on Assign Device Type, we can manually look for the device ourselves. If you click on Device Identification, again, as long as the EDD is installed in the library, it will find the device and then we can see it installed. So what I can do now right click on the very top, PDM. I want to load the device parameters to this project, so we're going to load to the PC. We'll select the subnets, so not just the compact field unit, and this will read all of the devices. In this case it's just one, but if we had 8 devices it would read the parameters from 8 devices. If you ever used PDM before on Profibus PA, please note the speed that this is uploading. It's vastly faster than a standard Profibus DP to PA connection, so it can help with your commissioning times. So we've now added the compact field unit, so the second part of the I/O structure is the ET200SP. This is a little bit trickier because the scanning of the analog card cannot be done via life list, so you're going to have a little bit of knowledge about the project. So if we click Profinet network, insert new object, and the IP address here of the ET200SP is 192.168.0 and 10. And again, we can click on assign device type and get PDM to tell us what is connected. So that's the simple bit. Underneath here we're going to have various I/O cards in different slots. So on this particular project, in slot 1 or slot 0, I have a weighing card, and then in my next slot I have a heart input card. So under the SP, if I click insert new object, you will see here slot number. So that's the very first slot number. I'm not too sure if that differs from how the PLC refers to it as slot 0, but PDM, the first slot is always slot 1. So we know it's the second slot that's going to be heart, and then it's heart input module. So at this stage we have 4 channels. Now you may not have a heart instrument on all of these channels, but PDM will still bring back the diagnostics if it's a wire break or whatever, but we actually have a device connected to channel 0. So we'll insert a new object there. And the heart address is always 0. I can't edit that. So if somebody's changed your heart address on the instrument, they've actually put it into multi-drop mode and it won't communicate to the Siemens heart input cards, so we need to be set to 0. So I'll click on assign device type, and now because we're talking directly to the instrument, because we've routed down, we can select device identification, and this should find a TH300 temperature sensor. That's a head mounted temperature transmitter, and we can do the same again with this. So if we right click up the top, PDM, load to PG, select all the subnetworks, and it will read the parameters. So here, unfortunately, we are governed by the speed of heart, so it's still a lot quicker than doing Profibus DP to heart, but unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about the upload speeds of heart. So I now have a working project on PDM. So this allows me to select networks in one big chunk, and then I can update diagnostics for everything connected to that Profinet network. So rather than going to each individual instrument, I can scan complete networks, I/O, or individual instruments, and you can see in this case I'm just selecting the whole network, so I want to see what the current status is of all the instruments on that network. To look at the instrument parameters in more detail, or to start doing things like echo profiles or testing of instruments, we can open up PDM in a more detailed view. So in this case, we want to open all these devices up because we want to jump around and have a look at quite a few instruments at the same time. So we right click here and open object. Once it's opened, I see a list of my instrument parameters. So in this case, I've got the compact field unit highlighted. That's the compact field unit parameters. And up here we have quick start wizards for the compact field unit. As soon as I select the 250, so this is a radar device, it will load the LR250 parameters, and then we'll bring up all of the LR250 menu structures. So have a quick look at things like quick start wizards for configuring the device or echo profiles. What I wanted to show you is some of the diagnostics you get from standard heart or milliamp devices. So here we have the ET200SP slot 1. Go to diagnostics, I can update the diagnostics, I can check the configuration. I'm going to come down to the heart card and we'll have a look at the diagnostics for that. So I can see the heart is active on channel 0 and I have no wire breaks or measurement over range or short circuits on that channel, so that channel's healthy. And then if I wanted to go a little bit further down onto channel 0, I can see the temperature puck and all of the parameters associated with that temperature puck. And I can also see the process values as they start updating on this screen. So it's very powerful once you have your network set up to jump from one instrument to another and see all of these settings. This concludes the blog for showing you how to set up a Profinet network. I hope it was useful, and please tune in again for more useful blogs. Thank you very much.